Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to build a clear, actionable roadmap to get your career in ethical hacking off the ground. We're going to cut through all the noise and show you exactly where to start and how to level up, all by 2026.
You know, the world of cybersecurity certifications can feel just like that, can it? It's this overwhelming wall of options. But this running shoe analogy is going to be our guide today. We're not looking for the fanciest or most expensive certification. We're looking for the one that actually fits you and your career goals.
And that is the big question we're here to answer. We're going to take that confusing wall of acronyms and turn it into a clear, step-by-step path that you can literally start walking down today.
Okay, so here's our game plan for the run. First, we're going to tackle that intimidating shoe wall of certs. Then, we'll get you laced up with the absolute fundamentals. After that, it's all about picking your path. Are you a road runner or a trail runner? Then we'll get some real miles in with practical experience, and finally, we'll look ahead to the finish line and what your long-term career marathon looks like.
Every journey starts with that first step, right? And in cybersecurity, that means building a really solid foundation. Before you can even think about sprinting into advanced hacking, you need a reliable, all-purpose pair of trainers to get you started.
So, what's that perfect all-purpose trainer? Well, for most people starting out, and I mean whether you're already in IT or coming from a totally different field, that perfect first fit is almost always the CompTIA Security Plus.
And check out the return on investment here. For about $425 and a couple of months of real focus, you're not just learning theory, you're unlocking a potential salary well into the $90,000 range, and, more importantly, you're clearing that first major hurdle with HR for those entry-level jobs.
Now, it's really important not to see these as competitors. Think of it more like a 1-2 punch. The Google certificate is your training plan. It gets you in shape and teaches you the moves. The Security Plus, on the other hand, is your official race bib. It proves to everyone that you're ready to show up and compete on race day.
All right, so you've got your all-purpose trainers, you're comfortable. Now it's time to specialize. So, are you a road runner who's focused on that structured, professional workflow you see in corporate pen testing? Or are you more of a trail runner, ready for the rugged, unpredictable terrain of deep technical hacking?
So let's break down two of the heavyweights in practical, hands-on pen testing. You've got the PNPT, which is all about the entire professional process, and then you have the CPTS, which is just a grueling, deep dive test of your technical skills. I mean, just look at the exam durations. 7 days versus 10 days. These are very, very different beasts. So the takeaway here really comes down to what you want to master. Do you want to master the business of hacking, finding the bugs, writing a killer report, and actually presenting it to a client? That's the PNPT. Or do you want to master the deep, dark art of it, chaining together obscure vulnerabilities to do the impossible? Well, that's the CPTS. And this is an absolute game changer. For just under $400, the PNPCT gives you the training, the exam voucher, and a free retake. It just makes the whole thing so much more accessible and is a really powerful, low-risk way to kickstart your career.
A huge skill, especially for the PNPT, is OSINT. It's basically digital detective work. Before you can even think about breaking down a door, you got to find the door first, right? OSINT is the art of digging through public sources, social media, company websites, public records, to find that initial piece of information you need to get an attack going.
Pivoting, though, that's a core concept in the much more advanced CPTS exam. See, it's not enough to just get inside. You have to be able to move around once you're in. Pivoting is using one compromised machine as a launchpad to attack other computers on the internal network, letting you hop from system to system until you hit the jackpot. And hey, it's not just about the certs you choose. Your tools matter too, starting with your operating system. Kali Linux is the industry standard powerhouse, absolutely packed with over 600 tools. On the other side, you have Parrot OS, which is more lightweight, more privacy-focused, perfect if you're on older hardware or just want anonymity baked right in. So the choice really boils down to your needs. Are you getting ready for a professional environment where you need every single tool at your fingertips? Then you go with Kali Linux. Or do you value a lighter, more private setup that can run on pretty much anything? Well, then Parrot OS is your champ.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get real, because at the end of the day, companies don't hire certifications, they hire skills. It's time to move off the treadmill and prove you can actually run on the pavement. And the absolute best way to do this is with bug bounty programs. Seriously, these are the perfect, legal training grounds to test your skills against real, live production systems. You build a public track record of your findings,
And oh yeah, you can get paid for it too.
And if you think this is just for a little side cash, check out this number, $2 million. We are not talking about small change here. Finding a single critical bug for a major company can be genuinely life-changing.
So to cash in, you have to know what to look for. One of the classics is XSS, or cross-site scripting. The easiest way to think about it is tricking a website into delivering a malicious sticky note to another user on your behalf. But that note is actually code that can steal their login info or worse.
And then there's another monster of a bug, SQL injection. Imagine being able to whisper secret commands to a website's database just by typing in a normal search box. If you craft that command just right, you can trick the database into spilling all its secrets, like the entire list of usernames and passwords.
And none of this is just random, chaotic hacking, right? All of this follows a professional process. It's a 3-step cycle. First, you plan and gather your intel. Then, you try to exploit the system to find the bug. And, just as importantly, you report your findings in a clear, professional way so the company can actually fix it. That's the core of any pen test.
Okay, let's zoom out and bring this all together. Let's look at the bigger picture. Because building a career isn't about getting one certification and you're done. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
So here it is, your 2026 roadmap, laid out nice and clear. You start with the fundamentals. You specialize based on what you actually enjoy. You practice relentlessly to turn that knowledge into real skill. And then, once you have years of experience under your belt, you advance to the big league leadership certs, like the CSSP, which opens doors to those senior roles and those 6-figure-plus salaries.
And that leaves us with one last, crucial thought. The tools, they will always change. AI is already reshaping how attacks and defenses work. So in a world where a machine can scan and exploit faster than any person, what's going to be your most valuable, irreplaceable asset? What's the one thing that you can bring to the table that a machine can't? That's the question that will define